Edmonton and Pure Casino Yellowhead, it's all for you. We're always happy to see you. And we always treat you like a VIP. Here, you'll find all the thrills you want, along with all the rewards you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Pure Casino Edmonton and Pure Casino Yellowhead.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks again for tuning in tonight. Welcome to Tales from the Pits. This is a podcast where we're going to talk about different stories within the casino industry. Tonight, we're going to feature Michelle, and here are your hosts, Jay, John, Mike, and Danielle.
Well, hello. Welcome everybody to, I think this is the 18th episode of our podcast, Tales from the Casino Pit. I forgot what I named this. What did I call this one?
How to Live.
How to Live. Oh, you see, you got it.
How to Live.
Yeah. How to Live. My name is Jay, and we're streaming over 3 platforms right now. We're streaming over Facebook. So hello, and everybody on Facebook land over there, the Casino Industry Canada group, and of course the Casino Dealer J YouTube channel. So thank you so much for subscribing. You guys are good looking. Let us know how the sound is right now, because guess what? We are live here at Yellowhead Casino. Hooray! So my co-host today, ladies first.
Michelle Workman, hello.
Hey guys, it's John. I'm the old hairy one. I'm auditioning for Santa. This is my quarantine beard. I'm starting to believe I'm looking like a castaway. I should have this ball and call it Wilson.
All right, quick comment. Yay! Yeah, they are live. We are live. We're live here at the Pearl Showroom at the Yellowhead Casino. So thank you so much, Peter, for letting us use the room tonight. I know it's pretty hectic with everything and everybody going back to work. So we definitely appreciate just having this space and this time on the channel. So thank you so much.
Yeah, this is really cool. And it's this is the first time I've come back into a casino, I think, and had a drink since the whole shutdown. So, and to do it, with Michelle and Jay, and this is the first time we've had a drink together for a long time. So this is really cool. So I'm so glad that Peter let us do this. And this is a really cool room too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I guess you guys haven't been here since the renovations, because this is fairly recent. Right now we're on stage at the Pearl Showroom. So we're going to face it the other way, but it's just a black LED board. So
Wouldn't even know we were here.
Yeah. We could have been in Jay's basement and just live. Like, oh yeah, guess what we are? You're like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
It was a bit surreal to see each other in person. Like even walking up, it's like, what do we do again when we see people, in person? I don't remember.
It's like, fist pump. And
so yeah, double backs, by the way. I think everyone is. So yeah, just let you guys know.
Anyone cares?
Yeah. I don't think anyone does. But awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. I don't know who that is, but we'll find out. But hello, thank you for commenting, and thanks for joining us. And Alex says it's good, a little quiet, but yeah. Awesome. You're awesome.
Ooh.
Thank you.
That was me. Sorry.
So, so okay, we're here at Yellowhead. I kind of moved the schedule around a little bit. Christine will be on in a few weeks. I think John does have a special guest next week as well. And we may have a special guest this Saturday. She's on the ship, so she's in quarantine right now. She just went back on board. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have something good. But in the meantime, we have a wide open kind of discussion here. We have the panel, but Mike and Daniel will be on right away. In the meantime, while we wait, do you have any special stories about this casino here? Because you've worked here for quite a while.
Well, I'm sure I could get to need something to trigger stories, but I will say, just walking in here, I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. It's been so long since I've been here. This wasn't here. I mean, there was a stage around this area, but it was different. I think it was all open. It wasn't enclosed. And then even I had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, where is it again? Literally, that's how long it's been since I've been here. I'm like, I think there's one outside the poker room. But then over here, I'm like, there's tables over here now? Cool. Like, you know, everything's in different places. So yeah, it was cool to see it because it's been a long time since I've been here.
Yeah, no, it is super different than like back in the Western days.
Yeah.
So before we move on, one of our special cast members has arrived. So welcome. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
Danny.
Yes. It looks so good to see people together. It's so great.
That's awesome.
Danny, how have you been? How have the first few weeks of being back to work been for you?
I'm so tired. Honestly, though, like just because you've been having a year off, like going back to work is extremely exhausting. But I'm really happy to be back. Now we have no more plexiglass, and we have no more masks are optional. So life's really good right now. Yeah, just really long hours. I've been working a lot.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
How it's alive.
So all day Danny was literally 9-second Danny. Then it was like, eh, poof, you got Jay voted her off the island real quick.
Danny, you've been dealing with a lot of poker.
It's all left out.
Yeah. How have the rooms been? Have they been busy? Or do they still have the dividers and everything?
No, we have no more dividers, but why am I echoing? I can hear myself. Can you guys hear echo?
No.
No, you sound good.
Okay. Well, so on the 1st, we got rid of the dividers, but we still wore the masks until the 5th, I think. Yeah, 5th. And a lot of the dealers are still wearing the masks because you're surrounded by so many people, but it's optional. And we've been getting called into work early because we have like 8 to 10 tables every day.
Well, that's cool though. I mean, obviously, people have missed going out and playing poker. Like, I think like all gambling is like a social activity, right, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have it for such a long time. And now it's like, hey,
I didn't hear anything.
Everyone's like, let's go do it.
Yeah, honestly, well, I don't like it's just kind of echoey, and like I didn't hear anything that Jennifer said. Yeah.
Sorry.
But if it's just me, then that's good.
No, it's probably us because we don't have a speaker here. So the one thing about being here, I'm gonna make you a little bit quiet. Okay, guys, if you're on, come say hi. Say hi in the comments. Alex says, "Wow, so busy."
Well, it's closed. Smart ass. No one's allowed in here.
The room is filled
This
with
is
all
the
our
crowd
people
that
who wants
we
to see us.
draw.
Look at that. All of our subscribers and followers are here today with us to enjoy this live presentation.
Sorry, that's why you've been hearing the echoes, Danny. Because people have,
Yeah, see, it's really poppy when I talk. That's what Alex says.
Okay. Someone is saying, don't forget to complete.
I actually did go play Paiga once.
How was it?
It was good. I lost 100.
Where did you
Whatever. I went to cash.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got some new stuff going on there too, right?
Yeah, okay.
How did it look?
I guess so.
Was that the renovation?
I guess
Yeah.
so.
The
I don't
poker room
know.
looks nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm trying to figure out how we can kind of fix it so that we can hear Danny a little bit louder. I think I have to clear it on the phone. So I'll try to.
I did deal Baccarat for like 1 hour and that was it. But my schedule, like my work schedule right now is like basically graveyards. So my all day Danny is really all night Danny, you know?
All night, Danny.
Oh my God. So Rob is asking when you're going to challenge him for the Universal Untitled Championship of the Universe belt.
Well, as long as he can do it at like 9 p.m., I'm down.
Because we want to
I
see.
don't even know what 2 p.m. looks like, guys. Like,
I kind of want to see Rob's new baby and his cake, to be honest.
I wonder if his cake got bigger.
All right. Oh. Okay, so Alex meant Danny was busy because we're not. So, okay. I was a little confused.
Getting heckled by Alex.
I actually thought he was talking about me, but Jay was going off, or Michelle was going off, being like, "It's closed." I was like,
Oh my God.
"Yeah."
Do you know what it actually looks like? Because nobody. Sorry, Danny. I didn't mean to.
It's okay,
I just like looking at the screen. Because there's like nobody here, it looks all fake.
like our fake background.
Exactly,
we're not actually here.
It's just a green screen, and we really
screen.
are in Jay's basement, and he's just got he painted his wall green. His wife doesn't know yet. She'll find out when she's home from work.
Just pick up a dog out of the
Exactly. Yeah. All of a sudden, this dog comes up.
Well, it's so cool to have you on, Danny. You haven't been on for a while, so
I know.
I
know, but like, we just got like there was like a new class for like poker dealers, so we are finally like. I hope I won't have to be working as many hours as I am right now, because it's just exhausting. I spend more time at the casino than I do at my house right now, so it's okay.
Is it hot over there?
Oh, it was so hot, and then it was hail and rain and thunder showers and like tornado-looking clouds.
There was some big hail there, wasn't there? I saw some videos. It was
There were some
hail.
ones like this big. I'm like sleeping peacefully, like 6 p.m. and all of a sudden I just hear ting 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 on all my windows. I just like wake up, like freak out. Yeah, I was like trying to see if my car's okay from my window.
Wasn't there flooding as well? Like,
There was.
You get like the 7 signs of the apocalypse all in Calgary.
I know.
Like, what's happening in Calgary?
I know. It's crazy. They're like that guy. Like, there's always like that one dad who like puts his canoe out when it floods the street and is like canoeing down the street. I love that.
Yeah, I remember the picture that you showed me too, where I think it was Crowfoot. Was that where it was?
I don't know
where the underpass.
Yeah, like that's just crazy that people just stop in the middle of the road to hide and protect their vehicles and like mess with everybody else who's behind them.
Yeah, I would have been pissed if I was like in the back there. Like,
right?
They just like blocked off. It's just like going under the underpass and parking and blocking off anybody trying to pass because of the hail.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I don't know who would want to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, like my street didn't get any flooding, and if it did, I just didn't notice.
So we're here at Yellowhead. So Danny, thanks for jumping on. Hopefully, just let us know if like we start chopping out and not sounding very good, or if we're too loud or too quiet. But yeah, like I said, I miss my sis there. And,
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's cool that you're here. I'm glad that you're on. And then once we kind of have this all set up, we want to have you up here. Or else we're just going to drive down there.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was actually gonna drive up there, but like I made some like plans, and it was like my grandma's 70th birthday yesterday and stuff. So. Yes.
I'm pretty sure Grandma would have liked to have come to the casino in Yellowhead. It's pretty swanky here. I'm sure she'd like it.
I actually think I've only been there once.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to Casino Calgary once too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have Fagao when I went.
Oh, that's what I want. So I did a quick walk around here, like before we kind of started. I didn't really see which tables were open. There's like a handful. There's no craps, but but they do have Paiao tiles, so that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I didn't
But
go
you
check over.
still work there, right? So you can't play.
I don't really work there.
Technically, you don't work here.
No, I'm a free agent right now. So
Ah.
I haven't made a decision. I said I'm going back in August. So I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. So.
When I walked in, because I was like, well, where are you? Because they're trying to, for some reason, I don't have, do I have this on them? I don't even know if I do, but maybe not.
No.
I think you might have
No,
blocked
you
me.
do.
You might have blocked me.
Seems
So he's
like
like, oh yeah, I'm not even bad Santa on my name. So, so he blocks me. So I was messaging you like, hey, I'm here. And now I thought, what? Will he be in a poker? So I walked around and I went in the poker room. I think it was 6 tables, 5, 6 tables.
Going black.
Yeah.
Wow. What day is it? Wow.
On a Wednesday.
Good.
So it was like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Pure. That
What did
have
you
the-
say?
What's that?
Did you say 5, 6 tables is crazy on a Wednesday?
Well, not crazy, but it's solid, like for a Wednesday night.
Well,
It's
not Calgary.
holy smokes.
How many?
Like
Sorry, how many do you have there?
how many tables total? 10.
Like open. 10? 10 open?
Yeah.
Well, that's
And they,
pretty good.
oh my gosh, it was crazy. Like we have like lists that are longer than the screen page. You have to scroll to find it. It's just insanely busy. Like I walk in and I'm just like over. Put me in the cash cage. Let me hide.
So what would it be like pre-COVID on a Wednesday night? Same
I
or
are-
not this busy?
I don't even really remember pre-COVID. Like everything just kind of smushes. Like
Your cat's tail
you didn't
is just
see
like
it,
your
but you
cat.
just saw your cat's tail kind of like come
Wait.
past you. So you're being photobombed by your cat. It was awesome.
That's so cute. Yeah. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
don't-
Sorry.
And I
was-
just started like my 11:30 shift, so I start at like 11:30 p.m. And I don't get to leave really until like we either get like down to a certain amount of tables or until morning shift comes at 10 in the morning. So it's like it's so late. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. I just wanted to know, how is the rest of the casinos? Like, do you I know you went to like Cash and whatnot, but like you're on your own floor. Is it actually busier than it was like the first time you reopened, or how is it looking right
is.
now?
It's busier than the first time we reopened for sure. Like I just know tons of people are working like more than 8 hours a day, and like we're getting called in a lot. But I'm so excited because we just got like a bunch of our class just ended, and so they did a poker class, and then like in a couple weeks, those same people are going to be taking a blackjack class and learning all like the party games. So I'm hoping things are like chill.
Well, no, that's cool. I mean, like I know like your schedule is, you're doing the late nights.
Crazy.
It is pretty crazy, and I think we.
I know. I
appreciate
get off work and I message you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just going to work now."
Yeah, I just woke up. I'm going to the hospital. Yeah, I think it's time. And you just got home. It's crazy. I remember those hours, so I totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been pretty much strictly overnight since they opened?
That's my whole schedule. Yeah, I've had a couple of 9:30 starts instead of 11:30, and I had one 6 p.m. start. But that 6 p.m. start, I worked till 5 in the morning still. So
So still, yeah.
it doesn't really change.
So, what game do you miss? Dealing.
I know.
But yeah.
Sick ball. Sick ball.
I've never dealt sickball, but yeah,
Knock on
like
wood. Knock on wood.
it's so, because we used to have to like our staff door wouldn't work because they had to check our temperature every day and like with the sanitizer when we walked in, so we would always have to enter through like the main doors. And so I would walk through and I would say hi to all like my Paiao players, and they told me, "We thought you quit. Like we haven't seen you at all." But I did deal box for 1 hour.
Oh, nice. That's good.
It was like by the table. It was really scary. I was like, I don't remember what I'm doing. Yeah, I was like, what happens on a forward then? What's the rules? Uh-oh.
Well, no, thank you so much for the update. I'm glad that you're still awake and okay and not dying from working those weird hours. So I think that's pretty cool that you're just getting back into it. So hopefully it's all regular and you get used to your schedule. And hopefully you get back.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there.
That's good.
So I know like a few casinos here took the poker rooms out. Right? Are they all back in now, or like same as Calgary, or is it just like dances?
No, because after the sorry, down there.
It's like,
down there.
how do you hold your drink?
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna put this? Like, this is
like-
weird. Like,
I'm like, you please see what's going on.
I mean, like, okay, here. I don't know where to put that. But no, so
Not there.
why are you looking down there?
I turned around and was like,
Okay. So, anyways, I ended up after the first day, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so busy." So I took the day off from the hospital. I ended up driving around. So I went to like all the casinos. Did the whole loop except for downtown, but I think downtown was closed anyways.
I think so.
I think they just reopened. So I know that like Century doesn't have their poker room anymore, so that shut down. And the only ones that I saw action at were here and Argyle. So it's like the pure Canadian casinos had basically the market.
So when you say it was shut down, were there tables but no one playing, or everything was going?
There's no tables. So like Century had no poker room at all. It was replaced with Interblock Gaming. So you know, like the stadium.
Yeah.
They had like it's the same as Starlight, except it wasn't quite. They didn't have craps Sicko, but they had all the other games. They had baccarat, they had blackjack. So it wasn't there anymore. It was gone. So it was kind of weird. I think River Cree had it. So.
And Starlight, did they have? Was it gone?
Starlight, I don't think it was open.
But they had tables. It just wasn't open.
Yeah. So I should really know that because like one of my best friends is the poker manager. So, but no, he's at home. But I think he was home because he had a baby. But yeah. So, anyways, I'll have to talk to Steve and see if they actually have a game. Okay, guys, thank you so much. For those of you that don't know, we are here at Yellowhead, pure Canadian Yellowhead. That's not saying it. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. I don't want to like botch it.
Seems accurate.
Yeah. Before we continue, let's round out the cast and bring in our final member.
Great.
26 and around.
Mikey.
Mikey.
What's difficult? Like, we watch here, but the camera's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I stopped looking at you and just
The,
flipped here.
the problem is, so hurry before we continue. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, Mikey.
Hi, good. I'm great. You know what? I love seeing you guys on surveillance cam right now. like they're monitoring you, right? Like this is tapped into the casino, or
Yeah, I wish.
I'm pretty sure this wouldn't be the first time I've been watched by surveillance in the casino.
not a
Just-
chance.
And
Not a
if you decide
chance.
that I need to leave, that wouldn't be the first time. Either.
You guys are hilarious. I am so happy to see the whole cast together. This is the first time we've done this in a while, right?
Too long.
You're right.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Mikey, you should have been here, man. I wish you would. It would have been a lot.
I was trying to be here. My babysitter canceled on me at the last minute, so I'm here now.
If you would have told me, I have kids. I could have rented you one of them.
Yeah, well, I should have, eh? But you know what? I'm off for 2 weeks, so if we want to get together again somewhere, that's fine.
We're on holidays. It's amazing.
I'm on holidays.
I can drive down. I would love to come and see everybody in person.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, we should do that.
This would be really, to be honest, this would be a lot of fun if we could. I don't know if we could ever do it for another casino while I was doing another casino, but this would be fun. For all of us.
Yeah, I hopefully. I mean, like, I love this casino. I think thanks again, Peter, for letting us sit here and actually take the Pearl Showroom.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. This is really cool.
Thanks, Peter. Whoever.
Yeah, give him a shout out. So,
I love that. I love that whole area. It looks Star Trek-y. It's kind of.
Right?
I got to see that in person. It's really nice.
Like, what is that room? What is
It
that
doesn't
room?
look like Yellowhead. It doesn't look like Yellowhead.
Okay. So what happened here was they actually ended up. This is the old stage, and it was kind of like a Western theme, right? And then what they ended up doing was they ended up doing the renovations. It's only been a few years, actually.
Yeah.
So 2018, 17, 18. They did the whole renovation here and the restaurants as well. So it's really, really nice. The window was actually opened up, and it's soundproof, and it's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
I'd show you like the other side, Mike, but yeah, it's off right now. But they have like an LED board, and it's really updated. You can see all the seating back here. So I think Lars actually did a show here.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. And he really liked it to perform.
God, I love that. I've got to go down there and see that. I wish I was there with you guys, honestly. Michelle, I don't know if you know, but it was early in, well, not the first season. I guess the season before this. I was working there a couple times when they were short, and I ended up losing the keys to the vault there. So that was a big story Loretta had. Like, I mean, I lost them. I was at home. I was sleeping, and they called me. I lost them completely.
Did they ever find them?
What's that?
Did they ever find them?
Nope.
I did not know that.
Nope. They replaced everything.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's when Mike was at his prime as a games manager. Right? So,
Right? Like, you know,
So when
keys.
would
Who
that
needs
have,
keys?
when would that have been?
Oh, God.
I say
20...
it's 2015. The start of
Yeah, I think it's 2015, somewhere around there.
We started doing cross, and it's funny because I didn't. Like, I could have gone.
You
to
didn't
I know.
No, I I don't do that. That's for sure.
I'm not sure that should be explained to Faye. I didn't lose them. Guess what? I was like, no, that's exactly.
I know. This is what happened at that time because Mike was like, we were both games managers at the time, and I think Marvin was actually going down to Calgary, so then he was like covering Calgary and like Lethbridge and stuff. So because we were doing like the whole cross thing, so then like the Yellowhead guys would come to Argyle, would go to Yellowhead, but I didn't go because Mike went. So
Yeah.
at the same time, like when you were doing that whole thing with the keys, I was like dealing with so much crap on the weekends, and it was the first time that a girl came up to me. She's like, "Hey, do you have any?" And I'm like, "What?" I have my name tag on. Are you being serious right now? And she's just like, "I know you do," and I'm like, "You better get out of here right now!" What?
Oh my goodness.
I know you. I'm like, do I have that face? Like, I'm wearing a suit. Like,
Well, the suit doesn't really.
no, I guess not.
So honestly, you've never answered a question, though.
Exactly. You never said no.
A couple comments here, guys. Alex says, "Mikey, never too late."
I love you, Alex.
We're having a lot of Facebook users, so nice to see everyone. So thanks for messaging. We're gonna have to jump on.
I'll check.
Okay. And thank you, Tony, for the pop. So totally appreciate that.
Cheers.
Pop.
Cheers.
Cheers, Peter, Tony, and Yellowhead.
Top
So-
tops.
Yay! All right, Danny, I love that. So you guys are great too. So
Mike's with us.
hopefully this is more of a test run, guys. I mean, we kind of move the schedule around. We don't have a guest on; it's just a full cast. If we ever, if this is going well and the connection is good, then I'd love to like try this one more time and have Danny and Mike here. So I think it would be really awesome to just bring everyone together.
Yeah.
And then we do some extra taping too, right? We could do like skits and stuff. So
The other option is if we do it again, we don't even ask, we just run through the casino with a camera. Chased by security. Yeah. I may be old.
Seriously, we should try that. We should try that as a channel. We should run through the casino with a camera, just like phones, right? Run through with our phones, but to make it industry. Oh my God, I can't speak anymore.
he's joking right now.
How
I've
much
had
have
half
you
a drink.
drank?
I've had half a drink. I just got home. I just poured my drink. I know. I think the heat's gotten to my head. To make it interesting, we should run through with balaclavas too. Just it would liven things up.
I'm sure they'll invite us back if we did that.
I'm sure I'd still have a job in the gaming industry.
Okay, so the comments, Sherry, thank you so much for messaging. Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry. How's it going?
She's the one.
Sherry.
She's the one that said you sound good and nice to see everyone. Nikki Starr says awesome. Hey, yeah, this is your old stomping ground.
Hey, Nikki, how's it going?
And it's Will that's saying, don't forget to come play Pai Gow after. I'll take the Pai Gow title live. Wow. So another challenger for the belt.
Ooh.
Go.
Will never take the pie goat. That's it.
Oh, that's funny. And our other movie star, hello.
Cool. How's it going, Nicole?
Hey.
Hey.
Guess where we are. Yeah, thank you so much for messaging. I see you, TV star over there. So while we're here, Michelle, you told me about your experience here and your time. How about you, John? Do you have any stories about Yellowhead?
Okay, so in 1998, I came to Canada, came to get married, and my wife knew a games manager here, and she said, hey, we're going to plan to come and live in Canada. My husband Dale's dies, or future husband Dale's dies, because I can't remember if I was married at the time, because I only came, we were working on ships, came here, got married, and then went back. So I came and did a table test. Yellowhead was under construction at the time, so I did a table test, and it was different. It was a different table test. And anyway, it was the only table test I've had that I can remember that I was never hired on. So I've been dealing crafts 11 years at the time, and I was okay. I think some people said I was pretty good, but I was okay. And I didn't get a job, so I never even got a call back. I never even got nothing. It was just like I was ghosted afterwards. So so I don't know, maybe they did. But yeah, so that was the last time I applied for a job and didn't get it, to be honest, as a dealer. So it was probably actually, to be honest, I think it was over there where the table is. So I was walking, I felt this cold breeze walking through. It was this negativity. It was like karma coming back to John. Remember, you don't belong here.
Jane, I was surprised they didn't get it.
To be honest, I walked through that door and I came in with like this thing here, right? And it's not a gun, to be honest. To be honest, it looks like I shouldn't say that really. Like,
That's like walking to an airplane,
Exactly.
it's not a bomb.
oh my God, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I was walking in, and I was, oh my God, are they going to let me in? There's me panicking. I mean, like, security, it was like literally, it's a thing to hold your phone, like a gimbal. And I was like, they're going to stop me. And to be honest, I walked through over my shoulder, and that looks like a gun. Does not look like a gun.
Or a really small guitar. Or
Exactly,
the two.
yeah. I'm playing like a really banjo.
Knowing you, John, that looks like a bottle of wine.
It should be, yeah. This actually could be a lot of things. Something that, yeah, anyway, but yeah. I came in, I'm just hoping that they don't stop me on the way out. That is so funny.
You know what? While we're here, let's just answer a couple questions. Here's a good one. Number 1. And you guys, I know you have an answer for this right away. What is the most annoying saying that a player says?
You'll never believe what happened to me at the poker table.
That's a good
I've
one.
never seen this before in my life. Never.
Are you going to be nice to me? I used to hate that. The other one was like, oh, I can do that in Vegas. I'm like, I don't
I
care.
can do that in Vegas. That's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't won a hand. There's so many. I don't know what's the best one, honestly.
When is your break?
Oh my God. New dealer, pip us. New dealer.
New dealer, this one's broken. We used to, the first casino I worked on the ships, we had our name tags, and they said, you say your name and what you did, right? So mine would be, and just your first name. So it'd be like mine would say John, and they had croupier, right? But everybody had like, it'd be Jay croupier. You know? It's just Michelle croupier. So every time you took somebody off, the Americans were like, "Oh, are you related?" They didn't understand what, and they would call it Rupert. That's an unusual name. I'm like, why are you reading it wrong? You know, I was like, oh, it says croupier, and that's a dealer, and you know, and no, I'm not related. So yeah.
Here's one. Chop it up. So you might not know this one because I don't think it's a poker thing mostly. So poker, they win a pot. And there's no 50-cent pieces in there. They'll throw you $1 and say chop it up. So they'll keep 50 cents and they'll give you 50 cents.
How will you keep it?
What?
It's like a $500 pot.
Yeah.
On the first ship I worked on, I was 21, sorry, so 1989, that's how long ago it was. It was the first time I got like Caribbean stud poker. And oh my God, so many times they play like, you know, like Kenny Rogers, like the down, and they'd be like, no one to hold up, no one to fold up. I'm like, dude, man, do you realize this is Caribbean stud? This is no skill involved. And they'd be like, oh my God.
Do you know when that song came out?
That song is so old. No, when the whole
Oh, it's not that old, Danny. Oh my God, it's not that old.
Who's going to Google it first?
84?
That's
Maybe?
so old.
Okay,
It's not old, Danny.
Oh, when was it?
78.
78. I think I was the only one alive in 78.
I was not quite alive in 78. Very close.
Yeah.
Mike and I are the same year, I think.
I wasn't even a
Yeah, we weren't there, Michelle.
Yeah.
My mom was 8 at that time, so.
Oh my God, that's not even fair.
Your mum was 8?
Her mom was 8.
I'm older than your mum by 2 years.
How is that?
I saw something on, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw something on Facebook or whatever, or Twitter.
Oh, it must be true. It's on Facebook.
Well, exactly, right? But it was about the Wonder Years, how it was filmed in 1988 and it took place in 1968. So it's a 20-year difference. If Wonder Years was filmed now, it would take place in 2001. And that just, like, oh my God.
It requires a lot of brain power to think about that.
It does. It does. But you think about when you watch Wonder Years. Did you watch Wonder Years when you were young?
Yeah.
And you thought it was so long ago, and now you think it's 2001, and like, oh my God.
It's not that long ago. Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying. Yeah, it's not the same. That's Crazy Town. I see that a lot now. I don't know why.
Crazy
Crazy
Town.
Town. I don't know.
I blame Danny for making us feel old.
Everything's
So
Crazy Town.
I'm sorry.
A year and a bit after COVID, just everything's Crazy Town.
Don't you ever bust. That's a good one, Sherry.
Oh yeah.
Yo, this is crazy.
Winner.
Oh, what about long time no eat? That one drives me nuts too. I don't like it. Don't eat it, buddy. You're not hungry.
That's awesome. Hey, well, if you guys have any other comments with that, let us know. I mean, there's a million of those.
Oh, one of the ships one we used to have, here's some ships ones. I used to have, do you live on the ship or do you live in Wales? I used to get that a lot. That was always wonderful. Remember those? Oh, with, did these stairs go up? That was a cool one.
Yeah.
Your English is so good.
Oh man.
Canada, thank you. Thanks for that. Really
No. The best one from the ships, I think, was are the toilets fresh water?
What?
Go find out. Like I don't know.
I had a woman come up to me one time. We would sit at like the pool deck, and I was having a beer, and she came up and she said, "Oh, can you tell me?" And she, like walked through like lots of people, and come up to me and said, "Can you tell me if the water in the pool is fresh water or seawater?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm not allowed in it." She said, "I think it's seawater because there's waves in it." Literally, I was like that. I was like, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Oh, 100% American. That's
Yeah,
100% American.
That's so funny.
Oh, look who it is. Missed you guys by a day, was on site
Oh.
late last night. Jason, nice to see you. Yeah, we're here. Where are you? Look, I work more than you.
Hey, Azuri, who you got in the finals, Jason? I'm just wondering what your team is. So England?
Yeah, probably. Well, we'll find out what Jason says. But yeah, I can't be mad at Jason ever because he's a Raiders fan. So
Oh no, Jason's awesome.
he's the best. He's all right. I mean, he's top 4 for sure.
So you're trying to say he's not even on the podium.
He's just off the podium.
Podium of nice people.
Beside it. Yeah, I mean, he's right there. All right, guys. You want to do another one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right. My question for you: what is the most annoying saying? Oh no, this is simple.
What?
My question for you: worst story of someone getting kicked out of the casino. I know you guys have worked in the casino long enough that you've seen someone get kicked out. What is the worst story of someone getting kicked out? Think about it. I have a comment here. Jason says, "You know, Mike."
Go Azuri.
So while the cast is thinking about this really amazing question, I still have to think about it too because I did have a story. Right now we're at Yellowhead, so hello everybody that's online. What we're doing we're gonna let them think.
okay, I have
Let's
one.
talk. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Okay.
You think about it. Let me finish my spiel. Thank you so
Moving
much.
the class.
I think technically this is our 50th episode of the podcast. So we were just talking about this before the show. So 50 hours. No, it's an hour and a half show. We were doing 2 hours the first season. So that's almost like it's over 72 hours. So can you imagine like 3 days straight of listening to us talk? That's how much content created.
That's probably torturing someone.
Yeah, exactly. That would be like, that would be some kind of convention.
They're probably using it for
Yeah,
torture.
exactly. Geneva Convention says you're not allowed to do that.
And you don't get champagne for this stuff?
Yeah,
Seriously, we're playing in Guantanamo Bay over and over again. That's
Yeah,
the thing,
exactly.
right? Like I mean, it's just
Mhm.
Are you trying to say we're like an audible version of like waterboarding? Without
Yeah,
much.
that's what he's saying.
Exactly. Thanks, Marty. It's awesome.
I'm getting on it. Hey, I'm with you guys. Yeah.
Okay, so John has a story.
Oh, this one. It was just one from that I remember. There was in at the time it was the Palace Casino, where a particular player smelled that bad, and he was on Pygal, and he was asked to leave, and the dealer spoke to him and said, yeah, you've got to leave. And so he was walking away, and he was probably, I don't know, 20, 30 feet away, if I remember. And the dealer shouted to him and said, make sure when you come back next time, you shower because you stank. And he turned, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then he carried on walking. I was like, wow, that's a pretty bad way to get kicked out of the casino. And then let everybody know that you got kicked out because you smell real bad.
I have one. I don't know if it's the worst story, but I like to think it's an interesting story of someone getting kicked out. So this is probably it has to be early 2000s. So Alex and I were seeing each other, but it's early, so 2001, 2002 maybe. And we were playing go-kart baccarat. We were sitting next to each other, end of the table. And it's late at night, and there's a guy across, I'm not going to say who it was, but there's a guy across the table that we knew. He knew us, we knew him. Regular, we got along with him. And I was in a hand, Alex had folded. And he was in the hand, and there was one other guy in the hand. And he was like glaring at me, this guy. Like, I felt like he was glaring at me. And I kind of like just leaned over to Alex, and I was like, so-and-so's like, he's like glaring at me, like, what's going on? I don't know. So then, we get to the flop, whatever, and he's looking at me the whole time. So I lean over to Alex, what's going on? So we're like talking through it. And he stands up and he just loses his mind. He's like, you two should know better. And we're like, what are you talking about? He was mad because we were whispering, right? Because Alex wasn't in the hand and I was, right? Oh. And so it was a totally legit reason to be upset, 100%. But he just like lost his mind, right? So Alex goes into like defensive mode, right? So he goes to stand up and I'm like, maybe sit down. So he sat back down. And then, so it really escalated. Like all the guy had to say was like, say something and be like, oh my goodness, you're right? Like Alex and I, as much as he can be, how he is at the table, we play with integrity. And so we would have stopped immediately because we weren't, it's like speaking another language, right? It's not good etiquette. And so he got so bent out of shape that he got kicked out. And I found out like 2 weeks later that I'm related to him. I didn't know it at the time. But I found he's like my second cousin. Yeah, it was an interesting way to kind of discover that. We were fine after, like we chatted and it was water under the bridge, but.
Do you have one? I have another one. I just remember. So I was dealing with this casino in Bristol, and we used to have, I think we had 7 different denominations. We had like 10p chips, right? These yellow ones. And we didn't have many because really you very, very use them, right? And there was this awful human being who used to come in and everybody hated him. He wasn't like an older guy, but he was sleazy and it was horrible and he would cheat. And anyway, so I'm dealing, I remember I was on the right-hand side and I was dealing and then like he was right next to me, right? So I was dealing and I come back and I'm like, I looked down and the 10 cents, he literally stole about like £1, which is like $1.50, right? So I was like, what the hell? And you could see his chips, these 10-cent chips had gone up and I was like, son of a bitch, just stole these, like not even worth it, just
not
did it.
Worth it at
not
all.
even worth it, he just did it. And he was just saying he was like smug and everything. I was like, okay then. So I turned around to the boss and I went, he just punched me. And he was like, what? And I went, he just punched me. And my friend's on the stick. And he's like, yeah, I know. I saw it. So now he was like, the boss was like, he did? And he's like, okay, poof. He phoned up the security. And the security come. And they grab him. And he's shouting and swearing. He's like, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, yeah, you did. You punched me. And then my friend's on the stick. Yeah, he did. I saw him. So they kick him. And they kick him out. And they ban him. And as he's dragging him out, he's like, and he was probably about, I think it was probably in my 20s, in my mid-20s, something like that. And he was about 40 years older than me. And as they're dragging him out, he's shouting and swearing. He goes, if I ever see you in the street, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do all this. And I was just like, whatever, I don't care. Get out. So anyway, he gets banned. And then a few weeks later, I actually, because Bristol's a pretty small place, right? And I was walking downtown with my friends, and I was like, hey, look, there's that guy. So he's walking up towards me, and he did one of these. He's like, and he just I wasn't going to do anything. It's just funny, right? So he walks into a shop, And so we just carry on walking. We don't make a
He
scene.
did not kill you.
No, he didn't kill me. He just got completely scared.
He
and
ran away.
And then I ended up leaving that one casino, and I went to work in another one. Right? I was just like, I'm going to work in this other casino, and it didn't have a craps table. It was just like roulette and blackjack or whatever. So I went to work there, and the first day I walk in, he's there on the table. And I went to deal. I was like, hey, remember me? And he was like, I'm going to cash it. It was so funny. He was so awful.
So it's so funny because Jason commented about like on the YouTube channel, and it was kind of like very similar to the story that I was going to tell. It wasn't like security like being dragged out or anything, but Jason says not kicked out, but this guy was literally dragged off a poker table by the collar at the door by his wife. He was yelling at him the entire time, and that's so funny because I remember it was like pouring rain outside. And this guy's playing, and he's kind of like sketched out. He's like looking around, and I'm just like, "What's going on with you, buddy?" And then all of a sudden, like this lady comes in with this umbrella that's like soaking wet. She starts like beating him with this umbrella, like yelling at him, and he's like, "Just let me finish the hand." He's like, "No, that's your kid." And I'm just like, "Yes." What's going on? Like the water from the umbrella splashing all the other players. Oh my gosh, it was insane. I was
There's a lot of variations of that exact story.
I know, it happens so often. And she's like, I've checked every casino. I knew you were here. I don't know what's happening. But I have it's I remember so I was dealing and I like looked up and I saw this kid like 8 years old or younger just walking through the casino, and I was really confused. And turns out this guy like left his kid in the car for a little bit to go gamble, and then his kid like found some way into the casino and was walking around looking for his dad, so that guy got kicked out to like that or whatever.
Yeah, those are the
That was
stories.
they just saw like a bunch of us just saw this random kid just like 8 years old just walking around the casino. It was really confusing. Yeah.
Wow.
I
That
know.
happens more, way too much.
I know.
That happens way too much.
I agree.
How about you? Yeah, what?
I'm still trying to think. Actually, I
Mike's
don't know
going to tell
what's
us
the worst
about
one.
how he was kicked out of the
Yeah, I
casino.
was like, so I lost the keys, and then
Oh, there's a few times. There's a few times I've been kicked out of casinos, but I don't know one that I witnessed that tops them all. I can't think of one right now.
Wow.
Jay, you have yet to answer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I got. I have a Grand Prairie story actually, because when I was 22 and manager, not very good at it, by the way, it was just really shitty. I'd go in the day shift and we'd be there by the door. And remember, this is the only casino in the city, so there's a lineup. So people want to play slot machines, and they were really good. I think per capita, I think they were doing like awesome with slot machines. It was super busy. People were waiting outside in the mornings. So, you know, I'm there and I'm with the security guard. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh man, look at this, look outside. I'm like, oh yeah. There's like this young lady, this young Asian lady, and then like this old lady. And they're both kind of like side by side at this door. And, you know, the casino doors open and they both start just running. And they're bolting, right? And it looked just like the Olympics where they go around the first turn. So they're going around the first turn and they're like just weaving through, like they're passing the tables because the tables were kind of on the side there. So then they're going around the tables, past the roulette table, and then the old lady of the two, the old lady just shoves the young lady. So the old lady like pushes this girl and then she just trips, right? And then you just hear this bang, like, bang. So
oh my goodness.
I was like, you gotta be kidding. And we're just sitting at the desk, right? And we're looking and like I have a coffee in my hand and like we're just like, oh my god. So like we end up like walking over and they both got kicked out. Which is the most ridiculous thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That's just like a random like Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a weekday for sure. It wasn't like the weekend because I was working like through the weekday mornings. But that was like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And you know what was funny? In the year later, they had a Future Shop commercial. It
With
was
like
the
that exact scenario.
Where they're just running, just pushing the other guy.
Man, it would be funny if it was the same women.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, totally. It was crazy. And you know, I'm like 22, and nobody respects a 22. Like, look at that stupid thing. I didn't even get that job, right? I'm wearing my brother's suit, so it's like oversized, right? I have no sense of style.
The sleeves down there.
Yeah, it was really just so out of my
What was that, Jay? About 22? What was that?
Yeah. I saw,
Oh,
sorry, before you go, Mike, I saw a guy actually would not leave the Caribbean stud table. It's like, sir, it's time for you to go. You're on private property. And then he's like, I'm not listening to you. I'm like, okay. So then the security guard comes and is like, you should go. It's like, no, you better make me go. So then, like, this is 2002. So RCMP comes, is like, are you going to go? I was like, no. They're like, okay, everybody step back. Pulls out a taser. This is
My
new,
God.
right? This is new. So he's
Yeah.
like, okay, guys, everybody clear. And then the guys are like, okay, I'm going now. He gets up and then he like leaves. I was like, wow. Like,
Found the line.
I you know what? The most memorable kickouts I have seen, I have actually had to kick the people out. So I think the first one was there was a gun convention, and they were in West Edmonton Mall.
This is going to go very well.
Yeah, they were getting drunk. There was a lot of them at the bar, and I told security to kick them out. I was games manager that day. I told security to kick them out, and they're like, "No, we're not going up to them." Yeah, son of a bitch. So, yeah, I ended up going to tell them that they were kicked out. They were really cool about it, but that was the most scared I've ever been trying to kick a group of people out because they, I mean, I don't know, they all have guns, right? Sorry.
You sound so quiet about it.
You,
He was like, I was so scared. Like scum.
so, yeah, you had to go. You had to walk there with authority. At the same time, you're like, if anybody says anything to you, you're like, okay, I'm running. That's
Like,
it, right? Like,
good gentlemen with loaded weapons. Please do not shoot, but please leave the building.
yeah, please leave quietly, please. The other one, I was part of it, and it was my first ever games manager shift. I was what a horrible shift. It was my first ever shift. I got a call about a guy relieving himself in the slots, not going to the bathroom. Okay, just one-handing his stuff to get off at the slot machines. So I had to go approach this guy. He was apologetic and everything, and he was okay and everything. But at the end, he's like, "Yeah, I want to shake your hand." I'm like, "No, no,
That's not how this is going to go down.
that's not going to happen." And the thing about it, after we kicked him out, the power went out. The power went out, and we had a flood. That was my first ever GM shift.
Oh my god.
Your first GM shift.
Yep,
Wow.
You should
first
let
ever
us-
solo GM shift. Yeah.
That's
Well, it sounds like you were both going solo then.
oh my god, yes. Okay, well, thanks for humoring us here. Any other stories? No, you guys are good? Okay.
No.
So I need Danny, because you talked about like that kid going through the casino. I actually remember being on the ships, and then like 9/11 happens. It's quite a long time. All the U.S. passengers, they wouldn't go on the ships anymore, right? So then we were repositioning to South America. So it's all South Americans, and they just went like buck wild on the ship. So like the kids were like running around in the casino.
Wow.
So then we had to be like, hey, you can't be here, And then the kids were actually playing slots. We're like, oh my god,
Oh my
this
goodness.
is getting so out of hand, right? And it's right before Carnival. So like, and the parents are just letting them do it, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, there's this one guy, and he ended up like this one kid starts walking through, and I'm like, excuse me, you can't be in here. He's like, I'm 26 years old. I'm like, no, you're not. Like,
How old was this? How old?
he's 26. He's like, here's my ID, right? And I was just like, there's no way, right? So I'm like, son, I'm calling him over. I'm like, that can't be right. Right?
Yeah.
So then someone's like, no, it's right. So I was just like, you gotta be like, shoot, this kid.
It was like a kid. Yeah.
Like, this guy's older than me. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So then like the whole cruise ends up going. This guy ends up being such a dink that all of us started just IDing him every time.
Single time.
Every single time.
Like, I've seen you every
Nope.
day. Nope.
Nope.
Show me your ID.
Don't remember.
Never seen you go for all my life.
You know, it's just like a normal thing where it's just like, you know, you do this.
Yeah.
So happy. But yeah, that was hilarious. Wow, that cruise was just terrible.
Funny said about kids playing slots. The first ship I worked on for Royal Caribbean, it was a Legend of the Seas, and in the washroom, they had a washroom in the casino. They had a slot machine in there, and it was called the Royal Flush.
Oh my
in
God.
the Queen's washroom, and kids used to play it. Also, the cleaners used to play it too. So we would go because it was a staff bathroom. We never used to go anyone. But they'd be like, "Why does that cleaner keep going to the bathroom all the time?"
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was crazy. Yeah, all the kids would be like, "Man, that's a popular bathroom."
Oh. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on for this. I guess it's a special episode because we're not in our houses.
Yeah, it's the first time we've been all together, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's even better. I like it. I really like it that we were allowed to kind of hang out in the casino.
No, this is awesome. I wish we could be there with you guys. Honestly.
We will be soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole plan. I think what we're doing right now is pretty awesome. I think we're winding down on the season because I don't know if we're gonna do. I think we were doing close to 26, if you count all the specials. So it's like 21. We have some giveaways for the finale already, so I've just been kind of hoarding all of these gift cards and stuff. So thank you guys for donating. Yeah, totally appreciate that because it makes the channel. So we're also going to do a Patreon. And, yeah, just a lot of like shifting, and we'll see what happens in the future. There's a little more that I kind of want to do with everybody. The Pie Dog Tiles live stream is really cool, but I am still working on the other live streams, and they're almost set. And I really think that you guys are gonna like some of the videos. I'm probably gonna start posting this weekend, but I have some special training videos. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, Pie Dog Tiles.
I could use some Pygo Tiles training. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget most of it. I'd be like, housewife? What's housewife?
Say houseway. Just say houseway.
Housewife.
Michelle, you have to remember Harrah's in Vegas. Houseway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the most boring way to play. It's so sad.
Well, usually it's the right way to play. Usually. As far
Well,
as
you can still look at yourself and set a house way, but why?
Yeah, well, when I used to know, like when I used to deal it, I knew how to set it. But I'm saying it's been a long ass time since I've had to set tiles.
Danny, I'm gonna say when you're in Vegas and you are 4 bottles of rye into your
Away from the
game,
table.
I will be
houseway
like,
is a great way to.
Can't tell if it's an 8 or a 12.
I'm for sure gonna be like setting. I set my hand once, so I like really had to like run to the bathroom, but I had tiles in front of me one time, and then I looked at it and I had 7-7, but instead I set it 0-4.
That is not houseway, Danny.
No, and then I came back, and then the dealer was like, so what was your hand? And I was like, oh, it's 7-7. No, like did I push? And they were like, well, you would have. But
Oh my god.
I love the tiles too. Like I was so excited when I learned tiles. I mean, it's not like a super exciting game. It's different,
I
right?
think you taught me to find out.
I taught you Pi-Dal?
Didn't you teach you taught to
I
find
didn't
out?
teach a class.
Didn't you?
No.
I'm trying to think who taught me Pi
I only taught blackjack and poker.
I can't remember who taught me Pi
Would Hillary have taught me Pi-Dal? Hillary taught me poker.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Was it Steph?
Did you deal?
Maybe it's Steph.
Steph,
Steph may
yeah.
have
Did you teach Pi-Dal? Like that?
Yes.
Like I know you did a lot of training when you were a trainer, but
Yeah, but I know it wasn't John because John told me this story about the exception. Because it's like, no, this is how I remember the exception. I remember it as craps. Because I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh yeah, 7 out, hard 8, hard 10. Yo, yes, it is.
craps through and through.
Exactly. That's the only way I can remember
Remember
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, bring it back to stuff I already knew. Because it's like, if I have to lose something, then I have to forget something. So if I already know it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's just that. So I've already got it remembered. So.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before, but I used to hate, every different casinos and everything had different house rules. I'm like, that's not allowed. How the hell am I supposed to know what's going on?
That's not what they do in Vegas.
Yeah, you turn into the player that annoys you so much.
Wow, I'm happy here. I'm glad that you guys are on. Whoever's still online, thanks for staying with us. We're over an hour already, but yeah, and we didn't even have any kind of segment planned for this.
Yeah, well, let's just, to be honest, this started off with like, hey, let's just meet up and have a drink and just talk about this, what we could do. And Dave was like, hey, let's just do this live. I'm like, okay.
And Michelle's like, do we need to plan? Like, what do we need to do?
Exactly.
Do we need to break stuff? And Jay's like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm a planner. This is not good for my brain.
Where's my schedule? Where's the schedule?
I was just like, oh no, maybe because Danny is off, so Danny can come on. But then I was just like, oh no, the internet isn't that good here. Because I know because I worked here, right? So I go on the blackjack, the pure blackjack or whatever it was, and I'd be playing. Come on, go. I was playing some of that because there's a thing here. This is years ago. But yeah, and then it would keep dropping off. So then we were like, it's not something good. But look at this right now. We haven't had any issues. I mean, we're a little choppy at the start, but this is wireless, so I think it's good. We can do this. So
Like, I'm going to listen back and see, like,
I hope,
what
yeah.
it sounds like,
So,
like
like-
back. But
yeah, Mike and Danny, it's okay. You guys can hear us.
Yeah.
yeah, it's better now.
Okay. See, that's good. So I'm glad. So then now when Mike can get, you can just drop Jada off at the house, and you can just come here, and then Danny can.
Well,
drive.
that works. If you would have let me know earlier, because I texted you earlier.
Whoops.
No, honestly, like seriously, yeah, I would have left it in there. It would have been fun, and I think we would have planned something. Like I said, I'm off for the next almost 2 weeks, right? So you plan a barbecue or a backyard shindig or whatever. Let's do a challenge.
Because you said that, I was thinking about doing it And now I've done it, and now you're not even here. So it's great. That's fine. But yeah, part of this was also because like I miss my sis because I haven't seen Danny for a while, and it's nice to.
I know.
They've been on for ages.
I know. I feel like it's been forever, honestly.
Yeah, it has.
It's been like
What was the challenge today? I gotta ask. What was the challenge today that you were thinking of?
What challenge?
What challenge?
I thought you were thinking of a challenge today.
Oh no, I was just thinking of like. Oh no, I'm not talking.
Oh,
about
that's later. Oh, all right, that's later. Never mind.
It's a
Yep.
secret.
All right,
No, I'm not-
got it.
I'm not- okay, fine, Mike. Fine.
top secret information.
Mike, you brought this upon yourself, okay?
Nope.
So Danny, I'd like you to look at this photo from Mike's first time ever at Las Vegas. Okay, so we're gonna do a caption this. Okay, ready? Caption this photo. Yeah. So, where is this photo taken in Vegas, guys? If you know, just bring it in, and then yeah. So, like, whoever has the best caption for this, you're gonna save it for the end. But like, you wanted to see it right away, so
You win 2 pills of Viagra if you can guess it right.
Do you know what? I was actually gonna move your body to the top, and then put that underneath, kind of just.
Thanks to you know what? I remember who made me go in that position to take the pictures. So I've got a long memory sometimes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll stand here.
Okay. So sorry, some comments. Hi, Connie. Hi, y'all.
Hey, Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Nice to see you.
Connie.
Alex says Mike Ramona.
That's it. It's
Oh yes.
It's from our Vegas
I
trip.
believe yes. You guys did talk about it in season 1. Alex told top people down. And I challenged the test after losing.
How did you lose 1,800 on Pygo? That's impressive, honey.
Well, you must have tried real hard to lose it.
$14 at a time.
That's you have to learn it somewhat, Alex.
Were you playing like
Sorry.
Toast private house games? And he's like, you suck. And they're like, oh, I lost again.
So, Connie says the exact day I passed tiles taught by Dougie Durr, they took tiles out of the
Oh no.
Yeah.
I passed and then was on it always. All right. So, yeah, no caption, okay? So, we'll save that.
I never lost 1,800 after.
Shush, I was betting everyone else not to do. Cool. So kept saying, you suck.
That's dope. That's dope.
Okay, so guys, yeah. So we're here at Yellowhead. We tried it out. Everything seems to be okay. We have like, I don't know, 15 minutes left. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? Because we haven't been together for quite a while. Radio silence.
What was that? You got an audience?
Who has an audience?
So, I mean, you mentioned like before, like I worked here. I don't know that I have good like specific stories, but like I'm very fond of both the time I spent at Yellowhead and the time I spent at Yellowhead.
What was it?
Palace and Yellowhead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm very fond of the time I spent at Yellowhead and the time I spent at Yellowhead.
Yeah, I know.
Palace and Yellowhead. I worked at Palace first, then Yellowhead. So I worked at Yellowhead from early 2002 to late 2005. And the thing I love about Yellowhead was I really enjoyed craps, I really enjoyed poker, and I got to do a lot of both here, right? So I liked dealing craps at Palace, but I always felt like behind, right? There was that first crew that learned, and they were great, and then kind of coming in behind, you still get to learn, but it just, you always felt a little bit like kind of out of the clique. Not that they were clique, but just,
Yeah, we
yeah.
circle.
And here it was more like I got to be a part of that, like, you know, the crew that was the crew. And so that was really cool here. Like, shout out to Steve. I think he still works at River Creek. I won't use his last name. But I worked a lot of hours on the table here with Steve here and in poker, and really good guy. And in poker here, I was a houseman here. I loved dealing poker here. We had Connie on and Joanne on recently, and doing those tournaments, like good big Canadian tournaments, right? And seeing tournament players from across the country, and yeah, you know, great experiences, and really good poker managers, you know, from Chris Jang to like Ryan was at Argyle, and you know, got to see the room run in really good ways. So I had a lot of really good experiences. It was tough to leave, but yeah, lots of really good experience. So not specific, and you know, like Peter, who's been an institution here, has been here forever. I haven't seen him in a long time, and guys like Mike, right, who I'm trying to use last names, games manager, who's like, I learned so much from that guy. He probably has no idea how much I learned from him on just how to be a professional, right? How to be even keel and not freak out.
She was not talking about me.
Like, talk about people. He was just like the best at, like, you know, he was just super professional, which, you know, when you're young and in your 20s, you're still learning how to do that. So yeah, so I'd really, just kind of general, you know, overview of my experience here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mike, not you.
Not you. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we put Mike?
I mean, I thought about it for a second, right?
About how to be professional.
I thought about it for a second here. Just, if I could teach anybody how to be professional, that'd be a epic moment here. It's not gonna happen. You're right, Alex.
Not start.
I mean, people who know Yellowhead staff would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
I have no idea what he's doing now. I don't think he's still in the skills.
No.
But I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it here. I mean, the coolest thing about this place is that there's so the scheduling, you know, and to be able to come here and say like, can we work one day?
Yeah, I did that for a while before I fully quit. I worked like maybe not one day a month, but I went really part time before I left entirely. So they were really flexible.
So yeah, when you work two jobs, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's some places where it's like, no, you have to work
So
like
many hours.
this many hours.
Yeah.
I totally respect that.
I mean, it's easier to do that after working there for a while, right? It's not like you could start somewhere and be like, sure, you can work once a month. Yeah, no, they don't hire people to work once a month. But, you know, when you put your time in, you know, they're flexible.
It's so like, yeah, that's the thing, because it's so hard. Like, I think about how they changed the hours here in the province, and since they've done that, it's been, you can't work like 12 to 7 and 7 to 2. It's extended. So like, if I'm working 7 to 3 at the hospital, how am I supposed to like kind of recover?
It's like too long in between, and so
Yeah.
then you end up working too late. It just
Exactly.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the hours are now.
I think when they extended the casino, it excluded a lot of people because
Yeah,
it no longer became an opportunity to work part time.
right.
Because you're like, I can't work till like 5 in the morning.
Right, yeah.
Because I have to get up for work and do the rest of the stuff, you know. So, and you couldn't work in the day, so you know you have to literally eliminate so many shifts that you just physically couldn't work. And eventually, you're like, you know what, maybe I just don't want to do this. And so a lot of people, just for whatever reason, just couldn't work in these extra hours.
Yeah, I worked part time at Creve before the hours changed for, I don't know if it was 6 months or 2 years, somewhere in there. And it was always like I could work weekends, right? Because I don't have to wake up. But then it's like you don't have any days off, right? So you'd rather kind of, if you're going to work a couple days a week, you kind of work at least one weekday, maybe one weekend, so you still get a day off,
Yeah.
right? But then if you're working a weekday, I was always EO every time. Like, please, I gotta work at 8 in the morning. Right? And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But yeah.
So yeah, there's a panel here.
Danny, you have a tail.
Because you can't see a cat. All you see is the
Just
tail.
the tail.
Danny, how do you like your hours now than when you first started? Do you find it better?
When did
or
you
worse?
first start?
I guess I started 5 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know, like always like adjusting to a new schedule is hard, but like you kind of do whatever is best for you. And I'm kind of like, like I don't have like a husband or like kids or anything like that. So like the schedule is easier for me to change than it is for a lot of the other people that I work with. So I really don't mind like doing the kind of odd schedules and stuff like that for now. So yeah, I like it. I don't mind. I do wish I could see some of the daylight, but I mean, I guess when you get off at 10 in the morning, you can go do something.
Can you get weekends off?
No,
It's hard, right?
no, I won't. I don't have
No.
I don't have seniority,
Yeah. You gotta work for like 20, 25 years in a casino before you can have weekends off.
Yeah. I remember, like someone was like, one of like the new guys was like, "Can I have like day shift?" And they said, maybe in about like 20 years. So, good luck.
When I worked in this casino, the first day I worked in this casino in London, right? And it was just off Piccadilly Circus, Shaftesbury Avenue. It was a super busy casino. And so my first shift I was dealing, and the bossman there, he's like, "Oh, I like the way you deal. I'm going to make sure you're on the same shifts as me." I was like, "Okay, what are those?" He went, "Oh, I work," and this was a time up until like 7-hour shifts, so like we used to first do here. And so I'm like, "Okay, what are they?" He goes, "Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday days, Saturday, Sunday off." I was like, "Is that on like a rotation?" He's like, "No, permanent." I was like, "Oh, I'd sign me up."
Yeah.
This was like literally about 15 minutes into my shift. By about like 7 hours into my shift, I was like, "This guy is a nightmare." And I realized why none of the experienced dealers wanted to be around him, because he was awful. He was like the most horrendous person I've ever, as a boxman. And he'd be there, and he'd be like, if you couldn't call up like a 7 hour and some of that, he'd just be swearing at you, and be like mean and horrible. And he was like, oh man, he was. I'm like, I did 6 months of him, and in the end, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I got enough. He was like,
Doesn't matter how good this schedule
yeah,
is.
and even like so eventually I was like, I have to quit. And it was like this. It was again. I used to get pretty good money too in this place, but it was like, man, he was like every shift was just a nightmare with this poor guy. But I was like, oh. And eventually I found out afterwards he got fired because he was stealing chips from the casino.
Oh my
One
God.
a day, and he hated everybody. And like they used to do this thing, like you could bank it back in Britain at the time. You could, if you worked like a stat holiday, you could get either double time and a half or time and a half and a day in lieu, which like a bank's like day off. So he always took like the day in lieu, because in his mind, in his crazy mind, he's like, I get a pay rise every year, so that bank day off gets paid more money the longer I keep it. So he had like literally 60, 70 bank days, and he was just evil and mean and awful. And and every day we found out afterwards he was stealing like a $1,000 chip a day, every single day for however many years. But they caught him one day when someone called him, and he used to have like a tuxedo, and he was always immaculately dressed, and he had a cummerbund on. And when he was like doing a score or whatever, he'd palm a chip and he'd put it in the cummerbund. Later on, he had a friend come in and come cash it out. But yeah, so when he caught him like a $1,000 chip, but he'd been doing it for years and years. No one had a clue how much he stole. Yeah, he was an awful human being.
Yeah, that's.
So sometimes the best shift to have is not.
There are other things to consider.
There could be a reason why you're getting offered this really sweet deal of a shift.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, when you're young, the only thing you really think about, like, before you have a career and you're just looking for a job, is like, how much does it pay? That's like that's it, right? But for me, it was when I first started working. It's like, like, what's the job, and it's kind of matters, but it's like, what's the most money I can make, right? Because I have no experience doing anything, and I'd rather not make minimum wage. But you learn as you get older that that's not the most important thing, right? That you might take a job that pays less, that offers you more freedom, more flexibility to go to your kids'
Or it's
stuff,
more
or
enjoyable,
whatever.
right?
Or you enjoy the job, right? Like,
Yeah.
but it takes time, I think, to learn that. Even if someone tells you that, you have to go through some experience before you figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, yeah, it's like sorry, we're like 124 here. Alex had a question, so yeah, let's go to that quickly. Alex says, "What's your favorite tip story?" I did mine already, so you can see mine on the channel. So I'm gonna defer to the cast because this is we have everyone on, so like you can hear mine on the channel. How about you guys? What's your favorite tip story?
I feel like they'll be recycling. I feel like we talked about this before. I feel like they'll be recycling.
I think we did, but you know that's okay. You know what? I was on the Jewel of the Jewel of the Seas. We had a fisherman come on, and he was known as a great tipper. Awesome guy. I think the best tipping story I can ever tell is that we made $8,000 each as a dealer in a week. We had the record until Brian and Selena broke it. That's the whole story. That's the whole story. Like, I mean, anything special. Just everything he won, he tipped.
Like he just
Right?
tipped. It wasn't one big tip.
He just
from that
tipped.
pot.
He just tipped.
Yeah. That's quite a. So what would a typical week be?
A typical week would be, maybe about $1,000.
Okay.
Right, you're looking at anywhere between $800 and $1,200, I guess. Yeah, we made $8,000, and we held the record for 4 weeks, I believe, until the same guy and another guy came aboard Ryan and Selena's ship, where they made $12,000 a week.
The same guy.
Yeah,
Did you think he was a fisherman?
he was a fisherman in Miami. Yeah. No, an awesome guy. You know what? I got a card from him. I'm gonna try to find this card, and we got a thank you card from him. He does it in every cruise. I'm gonna find it and I'll post it on the channel.
Cool. That's awesome. How about you, Danny?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't have any like too like extremely crazy stories, but just like we have just like a couple favorite players who like come in because they're just like insane tippers. But I honestly can't think of anything too crazy right now. Like I just know like it's happened more than once where like someone like the poker player will like go to like throw you chips and they'll just go into like the rake or like the bad beatbox and you're just like no. So like yeah, I've had like a $25 tip or whatever like go into there and then we have to like call house and house has to call games manager and the master has to do all this work for like a $25 tip. I just don't know if I want anything like crazy.
I had this guy came on the Legend one time, and he was well known with Royal Caribbean. So this was 20 years ago, and I can't remember what he used to drink, but the dealers used because he used to tip so much, they used to buy him his favorite bottle of brandy, and it was a couple of grand. So they would buy it to him, and he'd come in first like, hey, thanks a lot, before he did anything, and he used to tip like I think it was $25 a hand, every hand if you split double whatever, and he played the maximum. And he was quite possibly the worst blackjack player on the planet.
Which is impressive.
And you're like, oh no, man. But he would put, if he split his tens, he'd split you as well. And he'd do everything, and he was like, and you're like, oh, and he would be so drunk. And you could just see like, or like, he's got like a $250 bet up for you, and you're like, it's just gonna lose it. Oh, it was awful. I mean, like even by like just pure accident, he doubled our tips from whatever it was. Like he made us an extra, just him on his own by pure accident, made us an extra like $1,500 that week
Yeah.
on top of what we averaged. But he was just terrible. I mean, he lost, God, like I can't remember how much, but it was like ridiculous amount. But he was literally everything. He couldn't have been worse if he tried to be
Yes.
worse.
He increased the house edge.
Yeah,
quite
he
a
like,
bit.
but he was so nice. He'd be that drunk, and he was like, and he's like, oh no, and they keep the casino open for him because
Sure,
he was
yeah.
like, do you want to carry on dealing? Like, I just see all my tips going.
That would be hard to. Wow.
But he was a super nice guy too, and
Yeah.
he just wanted to like shake his head and go, okay, here's a book, just
Yes,
read the book.
It's a short book.
Yeah,
It's a short book.
it's a pamphlet.
Yeah.
I'll write it on your hands. Stop splitting tens against everything all the time.
Oh, man.
That is life alert.
Oh, hey, pal, I was wondering where you were. I know exactly. Why is that?
We're finishing.
Winding down.
I guess we have to wait for Mike to come back before we say bye. Here's a good one, Danny.
Well, everybody knows my fave game. This isn't a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, let it right.
I don't think I've talked about it enough, so I'm just gonna say Paga Tiles is my favorite game of all time. I just love like the variations that you can like change like your hand based on like your feelings or like your gut, and like you don't actually even have to look at the tiles in order to do it. I just think like it's such a fun game, and you can like go with like $100 and like some friends and play for hours, and I honestly just think it's a really, really fun game, and I think everyone should bring it.
But yeah, that's it.
But I don't mention it.
I know, see, Daryl. What about you?
Favorite game? Okay, you know what? It's dice, hands down. All right, you have a crew that you work with, and you have so much fun on the game. You have so much fun. You don't even realize there's players on the game. If you have a good crew and you can you deal it fast, you deal it accurate. It's oh god, it's like a team sport, right? Like I mean, honestly, it doesn't beat anything to me. Dice, for sure, with a good crew. You get a boring crew, not dice.
How about to play, Mike?
To play?
Yeah.
Oh, dice. I love dice. I love dice. I don't have the bankroll. So for me, playing would be Pai Gow.
Lots of pushes. Your money lasts long.
Yeah.
Because really, gambling is not about winning; it's losing. It's about losing
Losing as slow as possible.
It's about, yeah, exactly, right?
Yes, that's why I hated when poker went from limit to mostly no limit.
Yeah.
You can lose in one hand. It's like I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yeah. How about you?
Favorite game? Over my career, definitely flipped between poker and craps. I like both a lot. I think for me, why poker gets a little bit of the edge, if I really, really was pressed, is because things I like about poker, like when I think about working full time, is you don't sit at dead tables, right? Like craps, at least at craps, dead table, you have your crew to talk to, so that's not so bad. I used to hate standing at a dead blackjack table, like literally the worst thing I hated.
It is the worst.
Was standing at a dead gaming table. So poker, when your table's dead, you put your tray away, and if you keep the same rotation, you're just helping out the poker, or you're like an extra houseman or brush, right? So I didn't mind that. I like talking to the players most of the time. So, but I really flip between both. And playing for me is poker for sure. Craps, I like playing craps, but I'm like Mike, I don't like spending money on craps. I like playing it. I don't like spending money on it because it goes way too fast.
We should just find like a funny money somewhere. Go crash some like corporate party with some funny money
If it
craps
was a
game.
funny money, I'd be at a.
We're all going to Jilly's house.
Yeah.
That's it.
I liked all the games which there was more than one dealer. So if I like dealing roulette where there was a couple, or Pygar when there was a couple of people on there. Roulette, obviously, craps, obviously, I liked it because I did it for a long time and I really enjoyed it. But to be honest, my favorite game ever to play is single zero roulettes, but when you can have call bets, when it's like the French roulette bets, where there's neighbor bets, tiers, and all those kinds of things. And to be honest, that's a great game to deal, but it's really kind of fun to play too, right? And regular roulette. I mean, I still play the same. I was like, oh, do these bets because these are my numbers. But like, it's a double zero. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's just stupid. It's like these are my lucky numbers, but they makes no difference because it's not even a section of the wheel.
Well, that's like me. I know the sections on a double zero. I don't know the sections on a single zero.
No, that's cool. You see, yeah. By the way, Joey was asking about single zero, so because he wants to learn how to deal it. So I'm like, oh, John's the person to talk to about it. I remember I was always asking, it's like, how does that work, the sections? Then you tell me, and then like, because we got craps, and then the next week I'd ask you the same question because I didn't remember anything you said about it. Because you're like, oh yeah, the orphans are like this, and then there's the neighbors, you do this, and it's a section, and it pays this, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Like I have no idea.
I
like,
think that's something
how
you
am I
just like
supposed
immediately retain after
like,
hearing it one
how,
time.
like
Right?
I had never seen it, so it's like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to like remember that?
Visualize it. Yeah, for sure.
For me, it depends. For game wise, depends if I was like in a relationship. Because if you're single, it's definitely poker. Because you're sitting at the table, when you like get run over, it feels like someone's giving you a big hug. it's like oh
You're
my
surrounded
god, my
by
life.
people.
Yeah,
You can wallow in your own misery.
Yeah, that's
Or there's several people at the table who are
Yeah.
worse off than
We're
you.
all in the same boat.
That's what it is. Like, my life sucks, but I think there's 7 people on here. Their life is worse than mine. So yeah,
it's a contest.
exactly.
Yeah. So to deal, I mean, I'm kind of with you, Mike. I love the craps, but you need a really good crew because if there's like the one person that's in your rotation, it's like who's the shooter? There's like one guy there. It's like, yeah, no, I don't want to be here. So my gal is really cool because like, if you don't speak Cantonese, you just deal. Right? And they talk for you. And even if it sounds like they're asking a question, just nod your head.
Yeah.
Yes or no. If they're mad, shake your head. So. Okay. Before we go to final shout outs, I'd like to say Daryl says Red Dot and Sipo location.
100%.
At the time when Daryl was stealing, those were dollar deals.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I think that's what he's getting at.
All right, guys, thank you so much. The whole shablaz, the whole crew was here for this episode. So just any final shout outs? Let's start with this guy right here.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. I wish I could be live next time. Who knows? Barbecue. Mike's barbecue live stream.
You're really like the part-time guy, in all honesty, Mike. It's like
I know.
Michelle spends more time on the podcast than you, so you have to.
He's like he's brought the EO to this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Mike EO stock.
You have to bring it, right?
All day, the busiest person out of all of us.
Yeah, I actually really just want to give a shout out to all of our staff for working so many hours and doing so much to make everything go smoothly during our reopen. And I also want to give a shout out to you guys for being so patient with me and letting me skip some episodes to try to figure out everything. So thank you. And thanks to everybody at my casino.
Aww.
We're glad you're
I
back.
know, I'm so nice today. What's going on?
I got it. What's going on?
You must have got sleep.
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't want to steal your thunder. I'm sure you're gonna think
Go for it. No,
but,
go for it.
but so you can say it too.
I've said it like 9 times.
Yeah,
already.
because there's nothing going on here, but still, it's really cool to be here. So we're very thankful that they let us be here. So I know like Peter and whoever else was involved.
Yeah.
So it's, and shout out to just being with people in person. Love it. It's awesome. It's good to see their faces in real life, IRL.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Hey Siri, what is that?
In the dictionary.
Oh, it's 10:09 p.m. Okay, it's probably telling me it's bedtime. 10:09 p.m. Time for bed, John.
It's 10:09. Don't ask me any questions.
Exactly.
All right. John?
No, this was really cool, and to do it in back in Casino again, and to see Michelle and Jay, it's been really fun to in person. And yeah, I think this would be really fun if we could do it again in the casino live like this. So I think it was cool doing this, virtually because it was COVID and stuff like that, and it was like, hey man, this is kind of fun to do and connect and talk and share stories and have fun. I just think it'll be like next level better when we could do it in person. Just hanging out with you two guys was really cool tonight, and next time for a long time in person. And I think this will be, if we can do it again. Well, we'll do it again in person, but I mean, a casino stuff like that, it'll be just I think it's more interactive and fun, because a lot of times when we're doing it live, I have shitty internet for some reason, and it's like, oh, John, no, he's not there. John's all fuzzy again, and it's not just his Santa beard.
Yeah, we actually get to see and hear John for the entire episode. That's amazing.
We're cutting out.
Yeah, which may or may not be a good thing, so that's what I'm saying.
I first off, shout out to all of you for
Audience.
Exactly. The green screen back here.
I mean, this is so cool. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm glad this worked. So now we can get Danny here, and when Mike is available, we'll get everybody together. Be cool if we were around a craps table or something.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get a belt or something.
Thanks, Peter, for letting us be here. Thanks, Ray, for the drinks, and
Staff for pouring the drinks.
Thanks everybody for just kind of seeing us for this. And I'm just super happy. I'm excited. I'm glad this worked. I'm already thinking about tweaks and what else we need to do, and I'm excited because I want Danny and Mike here in person, because that'd be super awesome.
100%.
We'll do it. If I have to go and drive Danny down here next week, we'll get Danny down here. Okay?
Danny, how do you feel about
book a day off?
Picking you up and
Well, I can drive down there. I have my car working.
She's like, I have a driver's license in the car.
No, I'm gonna drive. That's
We're
fine.
all gonna drive. We're all gonna drive and pick you up.
I promise.
We're all gonna drive, and we're gonna play Fast Car by Tracy Chapman all the way there.
Nice.
I refuse. Thanks, but no thanks. How about I meet you there?
All right, that works.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's a special episode now, that's for sure. I'm glad that it went well, and we hope to see you next week.
Good.
Okay, bye everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Hit that bell.
Subscribe.
What is it? Smash.
How do you do the subscribe thing?
Okay, cool. Okay. Awkward ending.
Yeah.